Hello, everyone, and welcome to VisionAir Talks, episode 3. Today, I'm honored to be joined by one of the most respected and experienced figures in the balloon industry, Colin Myles. Colin has spent decades shaping our community through his creativity, teaching, and dedication to pushing standards higher. In this conversation, we are going to talk about his journey, his mindset, and what it really takes to build a long term career in this field. Hi, Colin, how are you?
Great, thank you. Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here with us. And I'm so honored that you are here. So, first of all, for the viewers that don't know you, I would like you to introduce yourself in some words, if you can.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. My name's Colin Myles, and I live in Scotland. I've been doing balloons now for 33 years, and I love everything about it.
That's amazing. Okay. So my first question for you, Colin, it's you've been in this industry for such a long time. When you think back to when you started, how different was it compared to today?
Great question. The big difference is communications. We had no communications. The only way of connecting to other people were Balloon Images magazine or Balloon Magic magazine or any other publications that were available. We had no internet at that time. So you would really look forward to every month or 2 months where the publications would come out to see what was happening in the balloon world. Now there's almost an overload of photographs of designs.
That's really unique and interesting. Do you feel that younger artists today really understand how things was back then on time?
No, not really. I mean, for us to connect with people, we had to go to conventions. That was the only way we would get together. So, for example, you would see a photograph in Balloon Images or Balloon Magic, and you would see the artist who was credited with that. And if you were lucky, you would go to either the IBAC convention, International Balloon Artists Convention, in usually in America. Well, it was always America, usually Chicago, or the Twist and Shout convention, which started in 2000. And then you'd be lucky enough to meet that particular artist. So you could then ask questions and get information from that artist that you really admire. But that was the only opportunity you had to do so, which is great. It's a great way of bonding.
Yeah, I am actually really agree with what you said. I think that the unique thing that we have in our industry, it's the community that we created, the conventions and the groups, the Facebook groups, and other private convention that we have all over the world. And it's amazing how our community is so connected together. And I'm absolutely agree with what you said.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even now, I mean, if I see some artist's work that I've not actually met before, I can't wait to meet this artist and pick his brains and try and discover, how he thinks.
You know, now that I'm thinking about that, I remember that you was my tester in the CBA exam.
That's a long time ago, Kobe.
Yeah, it was. And it was amazing to see you and to meet you personally. Because for me, I saw you like, wow, high on the sky, high level, and I never thought to myself that I will have this conversation with you, and now it's happened, and I'm so happy to make it with you.
Well,
Um,
likewise, I did this with very much people I admire, like Sean Rooney, for one example. I saw some of Sean's work that he was doing. A guy possibly people won't remember, Michael Jerrick, but you really want to look up Michael Jerrick's work. Even now, it is outstanding. Ray Hozokai. There's so many outstanding artists who possibly now people don't know of. And I think such a shame because they are the people who really built the industry. I've only named four, but there's so many more who really have contributed so much over the years.
yeah, I think that the level of the artists in the world have been improved so much because of the connection between the artists themselves, the
Absolutely.
younger and the adults.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, there is some really outstanding younger artists coming through. I would not put Vadim into the younger artist category necessarily, but he's not been doing blues as long as I have, so I still consider him a younger artist, which he will like. His work is great level, and I try and watch throughout the world. In China, just now they're doing amazing work in large shopping malls, which it's not something that as an opportunity has arisen for me to do shopping malls, but the work they're doing in shopping malls is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm in the exhibitions business, and I'm seeing that all the time. That the level of the artist all over the world, it's so amazing to see how it's improved. And I'm seeing the volunteers. I saw the artists themselves. It's crazy how the creativity, the imagination get grow all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I try and watch South America also seems to be really booming just now with creativity. It's great. It's great to see. But every country it seems to have a spell where there's great creativity and then it cools off slightly. Um, but in South America and China just now, they're really, in my opinion, leading the way. Plus, also some,
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. They are crazy there in China and Japan. I saw so much talented artists. It's amazing to see their commitment and dedication to this uh, um, area or comp or sorry, um, how you say it, um, this industry. Sorry, I'm really
yeah,
sorry. Industry,
absolutely, yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
And okay, even if I cannot do such a large scale um, piece of work, shopping mall size, I can still take that design, scale it down. Eh, In fact, it used to really annoy me when I would post a picture and somebody would say, "What is the size of that? What's the scale? You should put a pencil or you should put a Coke bottle beside that to let it see the scale." To me, that's wrong because if a good design is done properly, scale is not important. The design is the most important thing. The scale is almost irrelevant. It's the proportion within that design. If it all comes together, that's what makes a good design.
completely agree with you. That's really interesting. Okay, so what do you think they sometimes take for guaranteed the younger artist? What do you think they take for guaranteed?
The type of balloons, for example, Lincoln balloons were not available when I first started. When we first started, or when I first started, I remember going with a guy called David Grist, who older viewers will remember. He was a
Rest
very
in
good,
peace.
yeah, he was a very, very good friend of mine. But we built a monster truck primarily with 350 balloons or 360 balloons, um, but only were available in dual tone. And a lot, again, younger viewers will not know what the dual tone balloons were, but they were almost transparent. So we had to double stuff every 360 balloon we did
Oh,
with
wow.
white to get the colour that we wanted for that, which was amazing, amazingly difficult. But the actual variety of balloons that we had then were very limited. But that was in some ways very good because we had to really think about things and figure out how to overcome the lack of resources that we actually had. So we would have to think out the box always, which is actually a really good way of doing it. Sometimes it can be too easy.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so tell me, was there a moment in your career when you realized, wow, this is going to be my career. This is something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Again, it's a really good question. A bit of history. When we started, I was doing almost all classical balloon decor for weddings or for parties. So it would be columns or arches or table arrangements. And that was probably the first 6, 7 months of my journey. And then someone said to me, it's my daughter's birthday. She loves, is weird, random, mousses, Canadian moose, not mice, but the Canadian moose. Could you possibly do a moose's head? And I had never done sculpture before. And it wasn't the best sculpture. I still have the picture, unfortunately, not with me just now, but it looked like a moose's head. I thought, wow, that's really cool. And I thought, I really enjoy doing this. But very soon after, I realized I had a ability to see things in 3D. And I don't know if that's a gift or something you practice, but I certainly have this ability to see things in 3D without computer programs or whatever. I can see it in my head as to how we go about doing it. I thought, wow, I can actually do this. But even then, my technical experience or technical knowledge was very low. But then I increased the technical knowledge and I think, yeah, this is really good. I have something that I can do.
Wow, that's really amazing to hear your past and how you get to this industry. When I thinking about that, in your time when you was young, um, there was just 260s and round shape balloons. There was no Lincolns. There was no 360s. No, wow, that I can't imagine how hard it was to, um, like you said, double stuff balloons, or even did you make something like Lincoln just with um, raising or something like this?
We could do, yes, yes, but it wasn't. It's so time consuming. Nobody would make a large sculpture with Lincoln. So there would be methods you would use for the square park or duplex square park or whatever to get the string of balloons that you would require. But yeah, 350s were a uh, big change in the industry because the first years of IBAC was all round balloon sculptures. There was no modelling balloons used at all. And David and I were probably the first artists to come along and use modelling balloons, which 360s obviously are. And then 660s came out afterwards. And people would look at it and think, oh, wow, that's unusual to do modelling balloons. And that's really, at that time, Steve Jones was also very early in to do the what was later called deco twisting. But yeah, but that was really around about the year 2000. That was the first time that modelling balloons had been reduced into large sculptures.
You know, when I started my business, when I started my experience in the industry, I'm I bought David Grist a DVD uh, that he show how to make a balloon car and motorcycles, uh, and then I remembered that how much hard it was for him to work only with one type or two types of balloons. So
Absolutely, but David was going where nobody had really gone before. I remember the motorbike cycle he did. He was so proud of that, and he actually bought a stool for people that could sit on it. And he was ecstatic because he was just very fortunate that the stool was exactly the correct size for the bike. It was not really planned, but he had this stool and it worked perfectly. So he was so excited. And everybody thought, wow, you're amazing to get this stool, but it was pure luck. But yeah, but David was pushing things that had not been done before. Same as Sean Rooney, who's an underestimated genius, if I use the word correctly. He produced so many different techniques that people are using all the time now, but have no idea actually who originated these techniques. So kudos to you, Sean.
yeah, uh, uh, actually, you designed new technique also in the industry. I remember the wall, the Lincoln walls, that it's not the X weave or the square weaves. It's something really something else, and it was so unique. It's your design, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the plus link wall. But again, the great thing with working with 260 balloons or link balloons is exactly the same thing, only a much smaller scale. So if you make a chain of 12 bubbles with 260 balloon, it's just exactly the same as 12 link balloon. So I was playing with 260s, as I sometimes do, often do. So I did a chain of 16 and then made a plus sign. And then I thought, well, if I can join that together, so the first wall I actually made was a 260 wall, but I knew absolutely that it could be done with either 6-inch Lincoln or 12-inch Lincoln. But the bottom line is anything that can be made with Lincoln with 260s can also be translated up to Lincoln.
Yeah, that's actually really unique, and I think it's to think out of the box and not all the time uh, flowing with a river, like what everybody is doing. This is what I'm going to do. You actually stretch yourself to your limits.
Yeah, absolutely. As the ability to say, well, what if I do this? And forget what anybody said, no, you cannot do this. Just say, well, I want to do this, so I'm going to try and do it. And okay, sometimes it will not work. For example, I had a great idea, which I still think is a great idea. Distortion in balloons, it's never been a problem for me. I have a classic wrap machine, which if anybody doesn't know what classic wrap machine, just Google classic wrap machine. So to distort or to put things into a balloon is very easy to get the shape of a head. But what I was thinking was maybe I can use a foam with my classic wrap machine, open the balloon up and put a foam that then will harden. I can shape it to exactly the way I want to do. It doesn't work. I got covered in foam and it's really sticky, and it's just like it should work. So because I'm stupid, 2 years later, I was thinking, absolutely, I've been thinking about this. It should work, and I tried again, and guess what? It still doesn't work. But it's still annoying me. So possibly one day I will discover a way of actually putting the foam in without to actually let it go hard. I think there's a chemical imbalance with the foam and whatever is in the latex to prevent it actually drying. But
I have to say that I tried it too.
yeah,
Um, 1 year ago, I tried it, and all my body covered with this
yeah.
ugly and messy.
Actually, okay. Breaking news. I've just had a thought. What happened if I use an aqua balloon inside the 3 foot balloon? The aqua balloon may well not have that component that the normal latex balloon does. So let's try that. And all the viewers who are watching, go for it. Try it. Put
Yeah, yeah,
expanding
definitely.
foam,
I
expanding
will be
foam,
the first to try.
expanding foam in an aqua balloon. That could work.
That's amazing. Okay, so you've seen so many styles and so many trends come and go. What do you think always stays relevant in balloon art?
Very simple, in my opinion. The principles and elements of design. So it does not matter which style you do, whether it's a twisting style that you make, it can be very small models you're handing out to children. The principles and elements of design work. It does not matter if it's an organic installation, the principles and elements of design are still totally relevant. You must marry the colors, you must marry the shape, you must marry the proportions within that shape. So it does not matter whether it's a large scale sculpture, small scale sculpture, a decoration. The principles and elements of designs are key to any great design.
I
And
completely agree with you. And actually, you mentioned organic, and I'm seeing that a lot in our industry. That people just think that organic design are whatever size or whatever shape or a color that I want, I will put inside of it and it will be perfect. And it's wrong. Actually, organic design, for me, I think it's the hardest design of all to make it perfect, to make
yeah,
it its level that it will look really great. And this is connected to what you said because it's connected to the principles of balloons, of
yeah,
design.
yeah, absolutely. There has to be physical balance, there has to be visual balance, and there has to be mechanics in any whether it's floral arranging, whatever the actual whether sand sculpture, whatever the forum you're using or the model you're using, the principles of the design don't change. So for organics, there has to be good mechanics. Sorry, for organics, yeah, the mechanics have to be good as well. And I know there's lots of different ways organics can be done. You can make netting with linkaloons to create that. So you would use an awful lot less balloons than you would do for quite a lot of the organic designs you see, which are totally filled with balloons. It's not necessary. So if you make a netting with linkaloons first and then add the balloons or the round balloons over that netting, you'll get the same actual structure, but you'll use a third of the actual balloons that you would otherwise use. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, that's it's actually how it has to look like. And yeah, I all the time thought to myself that organic designs are they can be perfect, but
absolutely.
unfortunately, people take it or balloon artists take it to like a design that everybody can make, and they're just putting balloon on it. And
Yeah.
I think that it
I,
harm our industry as art.
well, I may be getting ahead of myself, but I see a lot of organic designs which have the same background every single time. So people are possibly using their own studio as a backdrop to show people this design. It's not being sold. But to me, very important with the balloon industry is the business part of the balloon industry. You must be able to sell it for a reasonable cost. Okay, I know there's a lot of people with huge budgets, but not always everybody has huge budgets. You must work to the budget your client will have, but still make a really nice finished piece for the client. And you must, yeah, you've got to work with them, but the business side of it, you must be able to sell. And unfortunately, a lot of the large scale organic designs, I would struggle to sell some of them. I don't know about everyone else, but I would.
Wow, that's really amazing. Okay, next question. How has the business side changed for you over the years?
Yeah,
Um, like, is it easier today or harder for you to be in the industry, to work? Uh,
I'm
yeah.
slightly different from this because I'm kind of semi-retired. We actually closed our shop last year, although I'm still very keen to continue in the balloon business. I'm not so worried about attracting clients now, but it certainly has changed a lot. Uh, to showcase your work, our best way of showcasing work, if we did an event and there was 200 people who went to that event, or 400 people went to that birthday party, wedding, whatever, that was a great canvas, a great showpiece for other people to see. And they would invariably say, well, who did the decorations for you? It was a great way of advertising. And we didn't do an awful lot of actual generic advertising, which in these days were put a big advert in the phone book. And the marketing is completely different now, where Instagram is the king, Facebook to some extent, but TikTok. And so that's changed hugely. And I'm too old to get involved too so much with the Instagram and the TikTok and whatever. But hey, that's an age thing. That's where it's changed a lot, the marketing. But I see a lot of false marketing as well, where people are saying, "Oh yeah, we do this, we do that, we do this," and think, okay, but I okay. A lot of the people who are actually doing this, their clients are not domestic clients or even corporate clients. Their clients are actually balloon companies. That's where they're trying to sell things to. So the balloon company will pick them up because they've got however many thousand likes they want. And I don't know, the industry's been led by this kind of false premise, I think. Um, and I can understand totally the balloon companies are saying, oh, this person's got 500,000 followers. We want to use them, we want to promote them, we want to give them free balloons or whatever it is that. But to me, it's not actual real life.
So you think that the artists are um, focused on trying to get the balloon companies' attention more than they are uh, trying to find clients?
Yeah, I know it's very controversial, but yeah, yeah. And also, I know I'm not a great one because I don't know the mechanics of Instagram, but I believe that there is money to be made if you connect with 500,000 people. Then money will be made. Certainly with the YouTube model, if you get a certain amount of followers on YouTube, you will monetize YouTube, and they actually will actually make money not by doing with real life clients, but by the actual films that they make on whatever platform it may be, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, or whatever it is. It's just a different way of the business working. Um, I have no great problem with that as long as the designs are good. But there's a lot of people who are coming in the industry who have no knowledge of the background of balloons, if you like, or what is capable of being done with balloons.
Yeah. I'm feeling you completely. When I was young, I remember that uh, when I was young in the industry, I remember that I also tried to get the company, the balloon company, attention until I understood that they won't pay my salary. So I changed my focus to my clients
Yeah,
and to my art. And this is something really important, and I'm so
yeah.
thankful that you said that.
I think that from my point of view, the art is the overriding aspect of it. I don't want to be negative. In fact, very positive is what you've done in New York, Tel Aviv, Australia, with the big exhibitions you've done. Also, what a number of other artists are doing. Like, for example, Guido Verhoef, what he's doing with the Blue World Adventure. They're making really large scale events which is open to the public. And I think that's a very, very positive. And I'd love to see this develop more, whereby the model where people are so impressed with the balloon art available are paying good money to go and see this thing. It's very difficult to create a really nice exhibition, but if it's done correctly, which a few of them have been done, then it's amazing. Great for the balloon industry.
Thank you. Actually, my dream was to take the balloon industry, the whole balloon industry, to another level, not to focus only on myself, just to stretch the industry limit and to show the public, the non balloon artist, that balloons can be an art, not
Yes.
just a dog and a sword, a real art. And I hope that I will succeed to do it. I think that I succeeded in some way.
Yes,
And also Guido.
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, and this will, I feel this will grow as the years go on. There's a great foundation, and enough really good artists to fulfill this project. And for anybody who's not been to any of these projects, you're talking maybe 60 really high skilled artists who are involved in this project and using as many as 400,000 or 500,000 balloons for the exhibition. It's an amazing experience if you've ever been involved in one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, so it's really interesting for me to ask you, looking back, was there one project that you really proud of, that really pushed you to your limits, and was something else that you did?
Yeah, there's actually been quite a lot of projects which I've spent so many countless nights trying to figure out in my head what will work and what won't work and why will not work. But probably the one that springs to mind is I did an 8 foot balloon dog at Twist and Shout, and I wove each part of the balloon dog, but I was not getting the shape correct. And then finally, I thought to myself, just a minute, if you do each section, why not just twist it like a big balloon dog? And that's exactly what I did with the help of two other people. Alberto Falcone helped me twist it, and Gary Ledbetter also helped me twist it. And so it was actually a twisted balloon dog, but it was 7 feet high. But each of the cylinders that I wove, they just fitted then nicely into place, just as a 260 balloon dog would do. And it was honestly, even before I exhibited it at Twist and Shout for the competition, I did not know if it was really going to work. It did, and it stood, and it was like, wow, amazing.
That's amazing. I remember one of your creation that makes me like wow, oh my God, that is something really unique, and it's the great water fountain that you made, the gray one. It was really,
But
really amazing, and I really admire your work.
thank you so much. Thank you. I was again, it was difficult, but I have a reputation of measuring all my bubbles when I weave. And people will say, well, you don't need to. You can use your hand, this part of your finger, this part of your finger, and you can get there. But the fountain, I really needed a specific shape to get the fountain to work properly. And with rings of 24, which I think I was working with for the fountain, even a half centimeter difference um, will change the shape. Will give me the shape I want. In fact, I think it was working quarter centimeters at one stage of it, which is like crazy. But it's not difficult because I've always worked with the ruler. So if it's not precisely quarter centimeter, it doesn't need to be absolutely precise, but fairly close to it. Um, so I can work that out in my head. I know there's the differentials I'll get if I change the actual numbers that I want, even if it's just a six spoke hat. If I want it totally flat, then I know the numbers I need to make it totally flat going out, or whatever shape I want. I know the numbers to change that. I don't even have anything written down. I just know what it is. So yeah, that's the way I work.
You made it with the frame or something behind the balloons to be so precise, or it was like
No, no,
just
I
by
did have
mind?
a center pole where I used clusters of six balloons just for the bottom part of it. Um, the pole went up to about 5 feet, but that was all the stability that it needed into the center part of it. Apart from that, it was totally freestanding.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Because I'm seeing a lot of designs, especially in China, of horses and other swords or other stuff that they are actually putting a
Yeah,
frame, and then cover it with balloon, and in that way it's so precise.
yeah,
But wow, to do it by mind, it's so hard.
yeah.
Um, I
I
know it by when I weaving dresses. Um, I had have to have the mannequin to make the precise shape. So it wow, you're amazing.
Thank you. But it's funny what the Chinese, not just the Chinese, are using now frames with netting or mesh over the frame to attach the balloons. That's a really old technique. That was being done in the IBAC convention in the early 1990s. That was 92, 93, 94. All the sculptures were done with this mesh technique. And they use it like a topiary method to attach the balloons to that. And then the industry moved away from there because it was actually very time consuming to do that. But what the Chinese have done, they've used the technique whereby they're using Lincoln balloons, a double level of Lincoln balloons, but the frame gives the stability for that frame. So, things don't fall very far from the tree. it's,
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing to see how the industry developed in few years. It's really crazy.
oh yeah, it's great.
It's amazing. Okay, so um, for my next question, if you were starting again today in 2026 with nothing, what would be your first focus?
Yeah, that's. I've been thinking a lot about this question, and if I had no knowledge of balloons, I think I, like everybody else, would go onto the internet, possibly onto YouTube, possibly onto Facebook, and type in balloon groups. And so I would be, if extremely lucky, I would go to a balloon group which is focused very much on the art side of balloons, as opposed to some other mediums that you could stumble across. So yeah, you would then learn from YouTube. But if I was really lucky, I would see on the internet that there was a convention somewhere in the UK or even America, and I would like to think I would go to a convention and meet people who are doing balloons and then go to classes there. That would give me the best possible start I could get. If I stuck purely with YouTube, I'm not going to get the best possible grounding in the balloon world. Um, Knowing what I know now, everything stems from basics. Whether you're a decorator or whether you're more of a working as a twister or using 260 balloons, the basics are so important for both sides of that. You have to learn how to inflate properly an individual balloon. You have to learn how to tie two balloons together. Just the very basic building blocks to get that. And when I did start, I was very fortunate that I had a gentleman, Ian Herd, who was absolutely passionate about the basics. And a lot of people didn't listen to him as closely as I did. But to me, I was so fortunate when I did start out that he really drummed the very basics of decor into me. Also, with twisting balloons, is very much the basics. So I would like to think I'm lucky when I start my balloon business that I find there's a convention happening 2 weeks' time. So I'll pay my money and I'll get my mind absolutely blown. And then I'll forget 90% of the things that I learned before I come home. So I then have to start experimenting. But I do have a good basis then. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay. How important were conventions and education in shaping you as an artist, as a professional artist?
Super important. As you say, when I first started, I would get Balloon Images magazine. We had a UK publication as well, Balloon World, it was called. And we also had the Balloon Magic. And I got on the mailing list for some reason, and I got the publications, and I would just look at these amazing photographs of either large scale decor or sculpture work, and wow, how do I do that? And with images, they didn't really show how to do it. They just showed the pictures as inspiration. Um, again, I was very fortunate because I did go to convention probably 6 months after we started. A lady from Qualitex said we're doing our very first ever convention in the Netherlands. So my wife and I thought, I'm not sure, a balloon convention, how is this possible? But anyway, when I went there again, I was, wow, this is amazing. This is really, I'm going to do this. but
How many artists do you had there in the first convention there?
well, there was teachers. There was probably about 8 teachers. There was, I know there was Jim Parker. There was Jan Imes, I think, was there, who's still going. None of the other teachers, I think, are still there. But it was amazing. And the guy Ian Herd was also there. And that was Christopher Horn. He was actually teaching there as well. He just retired. He retired last year. But Christopher Horn is also an amazing artist and a great inspiration to me. So from there, it just gave me a real impetus for that. And since then, I've never gone to a convention where I've not learned something. But I do have a rule: I never take photographs now at a convention. So if I will replicate something, it will be different from what I've seen. It'll have sifted through my brain and come out something different, which is, I think, really important. So I have this rule: I never take photographs at the convention.
Yeah,
Um, so
that
I want to come out something different from what I've seen.
wow, that's interesting, really interesting. Um, First of all, thank you for sharing. It's really for me to hear things like that. It's like wow, how the foundation of the industry are come to life. It's really amazing. So when artists try to go internationally, um, what's the biggest mistake you see them making?
For me, to gain an international reputation, you must do something that's different from what everybody else is doing. Um, there's a girl in Barcelona. I'm sorry, the name escapes me just now. Victoria Balloons, I think it is, and I cannot remember her name. Anyway, she gave me one of the very best compliments, and she's an amazing artist, by the way. She said, "You taught me one great thing, Colin." What was that? I don't know. She said, "You taught me how to think." And I thought, oh, well, if that's all I've taught you, that's great, because that's what you have to do as a balloon artist. You have to think. But to get back to the international acclaim, you must be able to do something that's fairly unique, different, and not copy something and then say, hey, look, I can do this, because lots of people can get to this level. You must be able to give something to the community. And I've always tried to work there for myself. If ever I am lucky enough to teach anywhere, I think I really want to give something that they don't people have not seen before. So for a budding international artist, do something different. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Invent yourself.
Yeah, and it's sore, and you will not sleep, but it's worth it.
That really really great advice from you. Um, so after all what you achieved, um, what still excites you um, in the balloon industry today?
When I, when I see something that's unique, and it's funny because this question is an artist called Sun from China, Jiesun, Sun. He built a horse because the Chinese year of the horse just now, but he was given carte blanche, as far as I'm aware, by the client he has dealt with for a long time to make a horse. And he went about it in a completely different way. It's a silver horse, but it looks a mechanical construction. So it's almost like there's bolts and there's tremendous, absolutely tremendous. And I've known Jason now for probably 10 years. In fact, he actually, when he started out, he would watch what I was doing with weaving and things like that. But he has developed as an artist tremendously. And when I see this work, that really inspires me. Wow, that's really terrific. Now, I don't want to copy what Jason's done, but it's another direction that nobody has traveled before. I think it's amazing. And that's what keeps me going. Yeah.
That's actually a great design. I saw it and I was like, oh wow, that's so precise and amazing to make. And all the time think to myself, how many hours it took him to make it. It's so crazy with all the
Well,
distortions and modeling balloons and wow.
I would love if you can to link a picture to the interview. I think that would be tremendous, just to inspire people and
Of
see
course
what
I will.
inspires me as well. Because something like that, and I spend so many times looking at pictures, and I get jaded, as everybody does, because oh, go give me something new. And it's like when I see something like this, I like it. Wow, this is good. This is cool. We can go different directions from here. But it's like, wow, yes,
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. That really something that um, it's a level up. It's something that never tried before in our
yeah,
industry, and it's really great to see how it involved all the time. Um, and Yeah, this is really amazing. Um, so, Colin, we are at the end of this interview. And first of all, I want to thank you uh, um, for sharing all your experience and your ideas. Thank you for being here. I'm so honored. Um, and I hope to see you soon. Um, Maybe
definitely.
uh, your
Somewhere in the
country.
world, somewhere in the world, Kobe, hopefully. But thank you so much for inviting me onto the show. Apologies for my overly opinionated views, but I don't I don't apologize too much because I think hopefully my love of the industry will shine through, and I do love the industry very much.
I agree with that, and I'm feeling that in your words, and I so appreciate that you are here with me. So thank you, thanks a lot, and I really hope you will have a great day and great week and a year. And thank you a lot, my friend.
Thanks again, Kobe. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Thank you for being part of this conversation. I really hope you enjoyed it. Here on VisionAir, we don't just talk about balloons. We talk about vision, courage, creativity, and the people who turn imagination into reality. So if this story inspired you, make sure to follow, subscribe, and stay connected. More episodes, more journeys, and more inspiration are coming soon. I'm Kobe, and this is VisionAir. See you in the next episode.